Alright, one of the things we need to do is replace this O-ring up here. So we're going to go ahead and get it out of there. You got to kind of get it, pick in there and pull on it, and not scratch the aluminum. Trying my best here. Ah. There we go. Pull that out. Then we're going to clean it. We're going to pull back a little bit so we don't get a splash. We're going to clean that, and we're going to clean the teeth of the crankshaft gear. We got to make sure that crankshaft gear is dry and clean. There's no oil in it for the engagement of the other gear, which is right about here, so that we can measure that backlash like we talked about before. This is looking good, so we're going to go ahead and install the new part. It's designed so it'll stay in there. So there's the new part, and it hangs down quite a bit more than the old one. The old one was flattened out quite a bit. Always worth replacing that. Alright, the pump is just in place with one bolt right now, and I want to show you that this is not a hole, that's a slot. That's because this pump is adjustable. You see how it's moving in and out? That's changing the engagement of that, and we're going to set that clearance by getting this just right. Okay, one of the tricks to keeping this plunger in there is to go ahead and give it a liberal amount of grease. That's a bunch of grease. And we're going to, the washer's in the hole at the bottom, the oil is keeping it in there. And we are pushing that up in there, and that will hold it in there long enough for us to get that pump in there. So we're going to do that next.
We're going to position the pump in place, get a couple of bolts in it.
We've got the chain on already, because you can't get the chain on once the pump's up in there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take them to the bottom out with the finger tight and back them out about one flat. And that allows me to do that. Now we're going to get the dial indicator on there. Okay, we've got the mag base stuck on to the harmonic balancer here, and we've got the dial indicator over here on the gear. We have the pump just slightly snugged finger tight to the block, and what we're trying to do at this point is we're trying to look at this backlash. So we're moving this gear back and forth and see what our oil room is, and right now the way we have it stuffed in there, it's at about 4 thou. Well, we need it to be about 2, so that means we have to move the whole pump that way. We'll re-zero. So it looks like we're down to about 3. So we're just under 2. This is where you may have to go back and forth a little bit. So we're just about 2. The spec is 2 to 3 thousandths. We're just over 2, and that's where we're going to leave it. Then we snug these up and we go ahead and tighten it again. Okay, we've got our 2,000s in there, and when we tighten this pump up 10 Newton meters per the BMW manual, you got to make sure that all 3 bolts are tight and that it doesn't change. If it changes, you got to start over. So we're good for this one. And now we're going to go on and install the pressure pump. Okay, now it's time to put in the pressure pump. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that these surfaces are clean, especially the one where the O-ring goes up to there. And we're going to hang it on the chain. And then we're going to go up into the block with it, where the dowels are. And I had to push on the tensioner to take the tension off the chain to get to locate. Then we're going to put the bolts in. And these torque to 22, yeah, 22 Newton meters. Newton meters. Now the only thing left to do is to install the chain guide on. Okay, here's the tensioner bottom piece. And these are going to be torqued to 10 Newton meters. And there we go. The installation is complete. The next thing to do would be to put on all the pipes for the pickup. And if you haven't done the rod bearings yet, this would be a good time to do the rod bearings. Well, thanks a lot and good luck. It's not that hard of a job. I think you guys can get through it.